Rip It Up is a topical show about life impacting creatives around the world today.
Yeah, and on tonight's show, we're joined by actress Emmeline Kelly. Do that again. By actor Emmeline Kelly. Oh, fuck's sake, what is up with me? Emmeline Hartley. Emmeline, not Emmeline. Okay. Emmeline Kelly. Fuck's sake.
I'm a scat man.
Hi, I'm Milo Denison.
And I'm Kev Bamboo, and this is Rip It Up.
Rip It Up is a topical show about life impacting creatives around the world today.
Yes, and on tonight's show, we're joined by actor Emmeline Hartley, where we'll be talking about their career today and the way that our brains see things. But just before that, I want to give a little mention that I'm doing a charity hike this weekend, which is for Cancer Research UK, where I'll be doing a marathon-based hike, so 26.2 miles. So if you want to donate, pop it in there. Okay, over to you, Milo.
All right, best of luck on that, Kev. I will be sitting at home watching TV. All right. So, Emmeline, it's great to have you on the show. So, first off, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing.
Thank you. I'm an actor. And what did you ask? Because I was just thinking about how you just pronounced my name. Sorry.
I pronounced it correctly.
You did. I just really liked the emphasis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think it was the fact that I got it wrong so many times.
Yes. No, I was impressed, but so impressed that I forgot to listen.
You got distracted.
Yeah.
Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. So yeah, I'm an actor, and I recently finished drama school, and I've produced a bunch of short films, and I run a networking event in Nottingham and Birmingham, and there's loads of random other pieces of bits and bobs.
What's the networking event?
So the networking event is Nexus, Cast and Crew Network. It's we've got our very first in-person event post-pandemic on Thursday. We used to run in person from 2014 through to pandemic, and throughout the pandemic we were online on Zoom. So we sort of have guest panels and we do showcases and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And you've just finished grad school. And you're working as an actor. Do you have an agent?
Yeah. I've just signed with the wonderful Victoria Lepper.
Did you find her, did she come to a showcase at school and sign you that way? Or did you, how did you find her as an agent?
No, I emailed her with some links to stuff and kind of what I'd been up to. And she got back.
Oh, that's great. And now I know in the US, when we finish college or university, we're in debt for the remainder of our lives. So is that the same here in the UK? Are you pretty much massively in debt, or is the education system here a bit more affordable?
So from what I understand, your debt is a bit harsher in that, is it like private companies?
No, you can take loans from private companies to pay for it, and you can do government loans, or you can get grants. So there's multiple ways to pay for the school.
I think there is some kind of difference, but I can't remember what it is. But over here, we don't have to start paying any of it back until we're earning a set amount, and then it comes out as deductions from just like tax would, or HMR. National insurance payments and stuff like that. That's if you're employed, and if you're self-employed, then you make the contributions depending on your bookkeeping that year, your books.
Do you have to pay interest on it?
Yes, but I don't know how much that is.
Okay.
It's something that I've not yet had to worry about because I've never earned above the threshold.
Well, congratulations.
I know,
right.
I don't know if that's a good thing. But it's at the back of my mind. Once it starts, I think, do you know what? Actually, that's a lie. I've paid a total of £11. So I really felt it that month. But yeah.
No, that's cool. So obviously, you was at drama school, but how did things like COVID impact your training to date as well?
Well, I don't know if you've ever tried to do stage combat without a partner online, and also without ever touching the weapon that you're learning. But I got into a few fights with my housemate with a wooden spoon, which I don't think was ever part of the original curriculum. And social dance, it's kind of in the name, got very interesting, as I'm sure you can imagine. And movement in general was tricky. I mean, movement in general is tricky, but it was especially tricky when we are tiny little boxes on your teacher's screen and like they can't see your whole body and, stuff like that. So, and the voice and the singing and stuff was, very sort of technically glitchy, but I think overall it affected it quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine the course being pretty difficult with those, especially those, you're meant to be acting, so those in-person things.
Yeah, I mean,
that taken away.
The tutors were incredible. Like, they did everything they could to try and to give us the best experience. And there were lots of things that they held back until the very last term, where we were kind of almost doing 2 terms in one. So they did do everything they could. But at the end of the day, there was a lot that was kind of lost. And I went there especially for theatre training, because everything I've done previous to that is film and TV. So when obviously the pandemic hit, what do? You turn everything into kind of screen acting and take the opportunity to sort of minimize everything. But that's exactly what I didn't want to do. So a lot of people gained stuff from that. But for me, I went there with something else in mind. But I still walked away with lots. We had 3 terms out of 6 that were mostly, we had 2 terms out of 6 that were great, and not everything was normal. And then there was 1 term and that was the last term where everything was kind of squeezed in, where there were still loads of restrictions, and we weren't quite able to have the audiences and stuff we wanted. But there were pros and cons, and we were in the room, so that was the most important thing.
Yeah, because when I think back to theater studies, I mean, that's such an important aspect of it, is being able to react and work off the person you're with, even performing in front of an audience and that kind of stuff, or just the feel of being in the space affects your performance versus sitting at home staring into a screen or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is the experience of studying theater. That's what makes it so worthwhile, is having that in-person experience. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing for me was the audience. We live streamed 2 shows, which was great because it meant it reached more people. But I never got that experience of being in a theatre with people there, because you feed off each other's energy. And I didn't feed off of anything.
Yeah, that sucks. So did you find were you able to adapt to that different environment quickly, or was it pretty difficult? I really struggled, but like the school and, my course mates, my peers, my tutors, like they all adapted very well. I personally really struggled with it. I think. Or if they really struggled with it, they just didn't whinge as much as I did. I found it really difficult. I mean, I don't really have any theatre experience anyway, so it's not a case of adapting from being in the room and bouncing off an audience to suddenly not. It was more about managing my expectations, I think. But I tell you what it was. I think finding truth in moments where you can't act on your impulses to sort of close a space, and also passing props. You have to find ways to suddenly not pass props, and just intimate moments of the stories where it really does need to come close and intimate. We weren't able to do that, so there was moments where the kind of realism, in a way, was sucked out of it. So that was a challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine that was pretty difficult, especially like you say, the impulses and the nuances of a character within acting, and that whole the environment as well. That feeling of being in a room and the atmosphere. Just like amongst other actors as well.
Yeah. I think the impulses was the really hard one, because you go, all our training at the beginning was kind of like well, not all of it, but there was a lot of times when we were told to act on impulses. Don't sort of suppress that. Like play with it, and for me that was just really important because I'm always I was often in my head and sort of pushing them down. So and then all of a sudden when I wanted to act on them, I couldn't. But no,
certainly. I mean. And it is interesting because obviously talking of like interactions with other people and in person kind of lead us on to our public response survey that we do kind of pretty much every show. So we kind of put out a little question to the public every kind of fortnight or whatever. And then this week it's obviously we're talking more about how our brain sees differently. So the first kind of question that we popped out for them was, how do you see with your brain? And we had, I gave them an example of, I gave them a fruit and then just says, what if someone says that fruit, what do you visualize? Do they just see, a strawberry or nothing at all because it's just a word, or maybe just something so dramatic or vivid or immersive? And we gave them a chance to expand on that and tell us their own kind of their thoughts on that. So everyone that we asked said that they do see something with their brain. So that was interesting. Obviously, we've got to go on the sample that we've got. Cool.
I've spoken to some people who can't see anything, that it's kind of like a barrage of adjectives, and it's all very kind of, it's like a sense or a feeling rather than a word. Rather than an image.
Yeah, no, I get you totally. But yeah, on this we had a few, most of them just said, no, all of them said they just, yes, I see with my brain. But there was a few that expanded on their comments there as well that said, basically, when I get them up. So we've got one person said, immediately the picture appears. This also occurs during conversations with people. I can envisage things. I'm also a visual learner. I make pictures up in my mind to help to remember things. Somebody else just said, I visualize. So they're using the example of the strawberry that we used. So they said, I visualize strawberry juice, example sauce, which is odd as it is made with beetroot. So, which is I find that quite amusing actually. And then someone else said, for me, it's quite an immersive thing. If someone mentions a fruit or any object, like say a table, I envisage a grain and the table and the oils in the wood, the craftsmanship and so on. So for me, objects really come to life in my mind. So I'm going to kind of pass that one over to you guys. And you're kind of, what do you see with your brain if you do?
Well, in my case, as soon as you said fruit, I pictured a peach or a pear. I can't remember, something like that. Because I feel like I want one.
I'm like all the imagery in my head is very, very vivid. Like I can feel and taste and smell in my head. And I've been talking about this a lot lately. I realized I don't have an inner monologue at all. There's nothing talking in my head. Everything relies on imagery and visualizations and stuff. And it was fascinating to me that people said that, when they're thinking about what they're going to have for lunch, they've got a voice talking through in their head and deciding. Whereas with me, I will see myself going to the fridge, opening the fridge, seeing what's in it, and sort of making a meal. When I say making, I'm not very good at making meals, so it doesn't look great, but you know what I mean? Like I'll sort of watch that happen.
Interesting. So instead of having that dialogue, you're actually visualizing it happening.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So all of my thoughts are constructed like a movie.
Well, you're in the right field for that.
Yeah.
Yes, although I can't direct for shit. Movies. You would think that because you can see the whole sort of thing as a full final piece, you'd be able to direct it. But I really struggle with that. But I think that's because I can't make decisions.
I think for me personally, I think I see a kind of a bit of both of what you're describing in some ways. Like I can see the image, someone says a word or whatever, or I think about something to eat. I'll see that kind of meal on the table kind of thing, but probably a more advanced version of that, if you know what I mean. I'll see the end product in my mind, but also I'll think about the things as well. So I'll have that kind of inner monologue and and the visuals as well. So I don't know if that's.
So are they more like pictures rather than movies?
Yeah, I'd probably say I visualize like a still, if you know what I mean, and then it's like okay, and it's like okay, like so I've got like almost like a step by step within my mind rather than, and then an image comes up as well. So I don't know whether the words come first or the images do, because it may well be different at different times. But it's certainly interesting how different people do. You know, some people can be right at the end and not see anything at all. Like you say, it's just purely words.
It's like it's what was it described as? It was like oh fuck! My cousin said that he doesn't see anything. He just has. Oh fuck! What was the? Sorry.
It's okay. You can swear.
What's the fucking word he used?
That's fine. Yeah, we're totally okay.
I'm going to look up in the chat what it was that he said, just because it's going to really bug me. Hold on. Sorry.
I'm going to ask Milo just whilst you're finding that, because I'm intrigued. Because when you said about you think of a peach or whatever, it's like, oh yeah, because I'm like, I really want a peach, or you really want whatever, So I imagine if I said to you, cheese it, then that would definitely drum up massive, vivid.
In my head, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could imagine it'd be quite an immersive experience for you, no doubt.
Yeah, I spend way too much time in my head, so it's a problem. But
especially with cheese it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a concept with adjectives.
Right.
That your cousin?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, interesting. But but I was thinking it was funny because I was thinking about both your responses. So, Emmeline, how you were very like visually all the acting out movements, because you're in acting, you're an actor, actress, however you want, whichever you prefer, and that's the way you kind of visualize the world, which puts you in the right place for kind of who you are. And Kev, you're a photographer, and you picture images, which kind of puts you into the right place for you, for where you are. So it's interesting. What does your cousin do for a living, Emmeline?
He works in.
Or what does he want to do? Or
he works in accounting.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes. Interesting that there might be a correlation there in terms of vocations, and how the mind kind of is partly wired. Yeah.
And did you say you're more visual as well, Milo?
Yeah, I am visual, but I do have inner dialogues. I'll have conversations with people in my head, but I write a lot, so it makes sense that I would do that. So that's kind of.
Now I have conversations with people. I watch myself having conversations with people in my head, so it's playing out like scenarios and conversations, but it's the inner monologue. The monologue that I don't have.
Oh yeah,
where
I
it's
definitely have that monologue.
Me talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
You have that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, quite a bit. So let's move on. So you've performed several acting roles, and we are wondering if you could perform a scene or a line from a movie or something like that for us right now.
This is Untitled.
I don't know what I would do. I'm not a performing monkey. I don't know.
We can skip it if you don't want to do it. It's no worries. Yeah.
Give me.
You don't have a go-to monologue for auditions?
I
actually was working on one today. I've only got like the first 2 lines memorized though. But I was like, I need because I've like, okay, I got to have a Shakespearean piece. I've got to have a serious dramatic piece. I've got to have a comedic piece. And so I was working on the comedic piece today. And because the old comedic piece I don't like anymore. And so I'm updating it.
So what was the comedic piece that you was working on?
It's basically it's a guy, he's complaining about people constantly telling him what to do. So it starts off with, I'm not crazy. I just don't like, and I'm misquoting it, by the way, because I haven't actually got it memorized. I just don't like people treating me like I'm 4 years old and can't tie my own shoes and can't cross the street by myself. Oh, well, it's just like she's telling you she cares about you. And it's like, oh yeah, women just love to show you they care. Unfortunately, it's a very short trip from caring to mothering, and then something about you're on a third date. And yeah, I don't remember it fully, like I said.
I've just remembered, like, so I did. There's something that you just said that just reminded me of a monologue that I just did in a show. Now the trouble is it's 10 minutes long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I can maybe give you like a paragraph, but I'm going to be sort of half reading it, unfortunately.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
What's her Hillary? Yeah, it's like I can't even remember my character's name. The trouble with me is like I will learn stuff, but then as soon as it's done, I will never be able to remember it again without relearning it. Like nothing sticks in my head, unfortunately. Unless it's like an emo song from when I was 14. For some reason, all of those are still in there.
Oh,
yeah, we all do that.
From when you were 14. We don't need a monologue.
Hell no. Okay, so what happens? Well, around the back of a multi-story car park one day, and we'd only got one Durex because I'd taken to persuading him to wear two, but thought, oh well, it's a chance in a million. And if I'm ever going to write my life story, I think that's what I'm going to call it. A chance in a million. But I wasn't done for. No, because I know about douching. I read somewhere that there was something in Coca-Cola what kills sperm. Now, I don't know if it's true now. I suspect they probably took it out when they took out whatever it was that acts with codeine. Any rate, we runs all the way down to the off license, and this over-helpful shop assistant tries to persuade us that a can's cheaper than a bottle, but we insist on a bottle. And then we had to buy a bottle opener, didn't we? He must have thought we was nuts. Come to think of it, he was right. Anyhow, douched myself with it. Seemed to have some delayed reaction because it wasn't till I got home did I suddenly feel uncomfortable when I sort of erupted in my best beige trousers. When I missed my first period, I persuaded myself it was just worry. But I sat up every night and prayed to God. Said I'd do anything, even join the Salvation Army. Threw myself down the stairs for good measure. But I don't reckon God took much to the idea of me with a tambourine. My mum guessed, carted me off to the doctors saying, I didn't expect anything else of you, but the way she created, kind of obvious that she did. And the doctor was a very nice, kind, moral man who thought abortion a sin. Bumbling sod. Still, I'm glad now because I love me kid. That night, my mum and dad had a set to. He was carrying on at her. It's all your fault, you silly cow. You should have told her about precautions. You should have known it was the last thing she'd think about. Well, I laughed myself all through morning sickness on that one.
I love the impromptu use of the water bottle there. That was great improvising there. Fantastic.
That was the last two paragraphs of a 10-minute monologue, so I don't know if I quite got the context.
Damn, so you actually memorized a 10-minute monologue.
Yeah, so it was like the very central sort of, it was like a stand-up routine in the middle of a very dark show. And it was a lot of fun. But again, this is another example of like I was on the stage all by myself under a spotlight delivering this monologue, and I had no audience to bounce back from. Like, you know, this is a moment where you're supposed to be kind of rising above the laughter and having a bit of a tennis match with the audience, and that was all live streamed. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that sucks.
I also didn't do that very well. I was reading it off my screen. So
it's fantastic.
I think we definitely enjoyed it, and you gave us something for the show, so that's absolutely fine by me. Mm-hmm. But so talk about putting you on the spot. This is now your chance to put Milo on the spot, because this is our mini feature called Ask an American. So this is a chance where our guest gets to pose Milo with an unscripted question. So Emmeline, the floor is yours. Please ask Milo.
Where are you actually? This is not my question. Where are you actually based right now? Are you over there or are you over here?
I'm in London right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're sorry that I'm in London? What's wrong with London?
Yes.
Jeez.
Okay. So
It is the capital of your country.
yes, I'm aware. I'm there a lot of the time, and I run away again every week. It's too much, I think, for me.
It's
expensive and too much.
That is, it is quite expensive and quite full of people.
Yeah, there are those. The other question, so Milo, this also isn't a question. I'm building up to what I think is a very important question.
Okay.
You're leaving us in suspense.
Totally.
Big time suspense.
Yeah. How long have you been in the UK?
I believe it's only supposed to be one question, not questions.
No. I just need to know. Otherwise, it might be redundant. How long have you been in the UK?
2 years. 2 years next month, actually.
Oh, good times.
October 4th. I know, just in time for everything to be shut down, so I couldn't see any of the fantastic historic sites.
I think they probably did that on purpose.
Maybe they knew it was me.
Yeah. So I've just done a course. So as you well know, my drama school course, there was 10 of us. There was me, a Canadian, and 8 Americans. So I have exhausted like every question for an American, I think, over the last 2 years that I could possibly have ever come up with. However, there is one thing that really fucking bugs me.
Our electoral system?
Pardon?
Our electoral system, it bugs us too. Don't worry about that.
Oh no, that also really bugs me. But are you familiar with Scat?
Scat, like the dance? It's like a type of dance, right? No? Oh, you mean like a poop?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Poop. It's it's like isn't it a term for like deer poop or something like that?
You probably know more than I do, but are you familiar with Scat Man?
A dancing guy.
Oh wow! Holy shit!
Yeah.
I put Scat Man on when I was with all my course mates.
Yeah, that's why I said dancing is my first response. But
yeah. And that's why I was like, maybe.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Finally, an American.
I'm so happy.
Who
like
Scatman is.
None of them knew it.
Oh.
At all. Like not a single person in that room. And at that point there was I think there was 14 of them.
I am a world-wise kind of fellow, you know. What can I say? So if you had that many Americans around, how's your American accent?
Oh yeah.
Well, the thing is I thought it was really good. And then I did it. So I remember I was doing a scene from The Crucible, and I did it then. And when we were rehearsing the scene and everyone was kind of sitting in the room, my friend turns around to me and said, are you trying to do an American accent? And I was like, ouch. Oh. And I've just been so because I was the person they all came to for tips on the English accent. Yeah, and I just never ever felt comfortable doing it because I felt like I was always expected to like nail it. I don't know why. So I only did it a small handful of times. And
did you do, because a lot of people when they start doing an American accent, they instinctively kind of go Southern. No?
I have done that before, but no, it was. Am I going to have to do this now?
You don't have to do anything, but I mean...
No.
Tell you what, I did get really good at doing like a Minnesota, sort of North Dakota kind of...
Oh, you betcha. Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't done it in so long now that I definitely... I need to sit and go back through it.
No worries. We can move on if you don't want to do it.
Well... the thing is do you know what? I'll meet you for coffee one day and I'll give it a go.
Okay. All right. I'll work. I'll do my British accent at the same time. How about
that? Okay.
I've heard it. I've heard it.
Is it?
It's bad. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
no,
really?
I'm joking. It's all right. Really.
No, it's not.
I think that the biggest thing actually, in all seriousness, is with people on my course, it was often very heightened, sort of a very RP that because that's what was being taught.
Yeah.
It wasn't like an English standard that was taught. It was like an RP. But obviously when people do RP, they make it very, heightened, and nobody actually speaks like that. So
try to make it a bit more posh. RP.
Yeah.
A fancy RP.
But even like it still doesn't really work for sort of upper class people of this generation.
It's just like it's just hammy, isn't it? Essentially, really, it's a hammy version of the accent. So,
but like they can all do a really good sort of standard when they get into it. But it always sort of starts up there and needs to come back down.
Actors, they're always starting up there. You got to bring them back down.
See, I started down there and I needed to come up, which is why I wanted to do theatre. Because like before drama school, I just sucked the fucking energy and life out of everything.
Milo, whoosh, like I'm having to grab him down, from the sky every time. It's ridiculous. It's just.
All right, let's move on then. So since I got put on the spot, you have, Emmeline, a badly drawn bamboo for us. Is that correct?
So this is the thing, right? I can't draw.
Well, that's why we say badly.
That's perfect.
Yeah, but I thought I would hammer it home by drawing it with my left hand.
Oh.
And it turns out that I'm better with my left hand than I have ever been with my right. So it's still not great, but like I am actually deeply impressed with this.
Okay.
Well, I've got to rate this in a minute.
Yeah.
So
Okay, let's see it. It's pretty good, actually. He looks quite evil, though.
He's supposed to be happy.
Oh.
He's squinting because he's smiling.
It looks like he's thinking about eating somebody.
Eating
somebody like he's a
like a cannibal.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow. Right. I've got to rate this now out of 10.
Yeah. You have?
I think that's pretty good, especially considering you did it with your left hand.
Do you rate it on badness?
Essentially, yeah. So obviously, the lower the score, almost the better it's been. But I'm going to go for a 3 out of 10 on that one. Yeah, I think you've got the curls. Nearly bang on.
I think that's the best score so far.
Aware played, check, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so there's
Sorry, Milo, what did you just say? You think it's the what one?
The best score that he's given out so far.
As in the lowest?
As in the lowest.
Yeah, the best, worst score, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I thought it was quite
good. I think it's quite good too.
So you're currently in the running of the accolade for the best, worst, badly drawn bamboo at present, but we've only had like 5, I think, so far. So
what? They must all be bloody Picasso then.
I disagree with Kev's rating on this one. I think there are better, worse ones than yours. I think yours actually is pretty well done. Yeah.
I thought you looked so happy.
I think that should be like a 6 or a 7 on the scale.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. The worse the score is actually the better that it is.
I thought that too, which is why I was like, I'm going to do this with my left hand. But actually what came out, I thought was something I was going to frame, but maybe now I won't.
Well.
You'll have to send it to the Rip It Up PO box that we haven't got.
You found a new talent of drawing with your left hand, and that can be your next side gig.
Do you know, this is the thing, right? Speaking of side gig, he's slightly drawn to the side there.
Mm-hmm.
I've never ever been able to do that before.
Yeah. It's like he's posing.
I've only ever been able to draw front on, and even then it's. Anyway, we can move on.
No, it's pretty cool actually. Yeah, but 3 out of 10.
Okay, well, we've got a few sent via social media, so we will flash those on the screen here as well.
Yeah, we have definitely got a few more that have been in, so that will be.
And certainly, audience, if you want to do a badly drawn bamboo and see if you can do better or worse than Emmeline's, send it this way.
Yeah, so basically moving on, so enough of drawings of me looking like a cannibal. We're going back to the survey. We're going back to question 2 on the survey because, otherwise I'm just going to be too overwhelmed by all these drawings and rating them and whatnot. So yeah, question 2 on the survey was basically, so we went a little bit more in depth with the question because we opened with a fairly easy, simple question. And this was to say to people, basically, if you do see with your brain and more vividly, what is the most vivid thing that you've seen? And is it like this all the time? But also to expand on that, it was like, does your mind bombard you even if someone talks about something like a piece of paper? So feel free to give examples in the comments, and here are some of the comments from that. But we gave them a few options and then a chance to actually expand. So we just put, yes, I'll expand below. And we had, it's not quite that intense, but I'm happy to share my thoughts. And then, nope, but I'm intrigued that other people do see in a more vivid way. So yeah, we had a few comments on there as well, which I'll just relay. So somebody said, whilst I have an immersive experience, I don't feel it bombards or overwhelms me, but it can certainly be quite enjoyable to have those fairly vivid descriptions of some totally mundane items. Somebody else said, I'm rather intrigued that people don't see this way. I thought everyone saw. This is just normal for me. Somebody else said, it all depends if I hear a phrase or a few words. Sometimes I picture them in a poem. That's quite interesting, actually. And then somebody else said, I can pretty much picture anything in my mind, single things in colour to road journeys or a walk from start to finish. So, yeah, again, I want to kind of pass that over to both of you guys on your kind of...
Remind me what the question... Can you say that question again on the survey?
Yeah, so essentially it's just if you do see more vividly, what's the most vivid thing that you've seen in terms of like something that someone's said something and it's brought up something really vivid to you more than normal possibly.
So like a really detailed image or just a really brightly like, you did too many drugs image?
Well, it could well be via, whatever medium it might have come through. If feel free to share if it's come via another medium. But no, I was just as well as I wondered whether there's different levels of intensity, depending on the type of word or object or phrase.
The thing is, I guess I don't know what I'm comparing it to because I only know my own mind. So everything that people say and talk about and stuff, I see it all in my head. If someone's talking about, my room's a bit messy, I need to tidy it up, blah, blah. I'm picturing a room. I might not have ever been in their room before, but I picture the entire room and where everything is. And as they're talking about things, I'll start placing things into it, and then if they sort of say like, and the window's by the door, my mind will like then switch it around to put the window by the door. And so it's kind of building an image as people are talking like constantly. And then like, it might be that while they're talking, I then leave the room and start looking around the rest of the house and accidentally ignore everything else they're talking about. So I'm
just over here. I'm in the lounge now.
So I get distracted constantly by my own visualizations, like, which I think, I've got ADHD and I think it's quite severe. And like, I think that's just another part of that, just sort of getting distracted by the shit going on in my head. So I don't know. I'm assuming it's part of that anyway, not because of how vivid they are.
Yeah. So Milo, what about yourself? Whether that's through the way you suggested or the way that I suggested. I mean,
well, I just think of the question is, obviously if you're reading something or somebody's telling you about a place, you're building an image of it in your head based upon that description. And then you're potentially tweaking it based upon your own experiences and how you view things. So if somebody is describing their bedroom and they describe it as a mess, does that freak you out being in like a super messy bedroom? So is it then in your head a big, massive, disgusting mess, or is it just a couple things out of order kind of thing? So how I view, yeah, sure. I don't know. I think I view things normally. Maybe don't really know how to answer that particular question, Kev.
He says.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think how we picture the world depends on our mood quite a bit too. Because you think about it like your dreary day and like the world just because it looks dreary versus a nice bright sunny day and the world looks nice and bright and sunny. So if somebody's describing something to you, your mood at the time is also going to impact that. But for me, how do I visualize stuff? Yeah, it will vary on my mood. It will also vary on how good of a storyteller they are. If somebody is describing something to me and they're telling it in a way that's not interesting, I will almost instantly just space off and stop listening to them. So they have to be a good storyteller to keep me interested in what they're saying for me to actually want to visualize it.
Yeah, sure. I know. I mean, I've noticed you do this with me several times.
Well, you talk a lot, though, so it's kind of your own fault. See, so I'll start
You
listening.
think I talk a lot. You think I talk a lot, but then
and then 20 minutes later, of course, I've tuned out by then.
I was like, I'll just tune back in when I think he's finished.
I was literally going to say when you were saying that, Milo, I was about to say, I've seen you do that a few times to Kev, and I was like, we're there yet.
No.
Maybe I'll keep that one in.
Save it for when it happens. Yeah.
Used to this abuse, No, for me, to be fair, it's seeing vividly, I suppose. Again, I'd probably agree with yourself in terms of it depends on how that person's telling the story. But there are occasions when even something just totally mundane has, I've seen it in almost like, psychedelia, and I've not been on anything. It's just literally, my mind has kind of explored that object so far that it's like, but no, I'd probably agree with you in a sense more on the storytelling element that would bring me to life. So when you're reading a book and you just, obviously you're more immersed into it because you're creating these pictures as you read. So yeah, I'd probably agree with you there.
All right. Well, that was good. That was quick too.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm proud of myself.
Didn't space off or anything. Huh?
I tuned out.
Yeah.
No.
I know, I noticed. No,
it's because I've got really bad pins and needles in my legs. I was really trying to gently move them.
Oh, is that what people are calling it now?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's put you back on the spot, Emmeline. So we've talked about your career. We've witnessed your fantastic monologue. So if you were to land your most ideal role, what or who would that be and why?
Okay, so I'm really interested at the moment in films and shows where you get to see an actor performing in lots of different sort of like different versions of themselves or whatever that might look like, or different characters. So things like Orphan Black with Tatiana Maslany playing all the different clones, Split with James McAvoy obviously playing multiple personalities, and also like Amy Smart in The Butterfly Effect playing different sort of realities of the different places her life could end up. Things like that really interest me because I've been working a lot on kind of trying to be more transformative in my work throughout drama school, which usually only kind of seems to fit in a theatre environment. But when you kind of see people given that opportunity on screen, especially multi-rolling in one show, I think there's something really special about that. So I'd love to do something like that, or just a really interesting character that's just kind of very three-dimensional. Everyone sort of has the dreams of playing Katniss Everdeen, don't they?
I know I do.
Yeah, me too. Every evening.
Kev and I have talked message back and forth about it all the time. Like, yeah.
So roles like that, obviously, are kick-ass, and I'd love to have a go. But yeah, I don't know. And I also want to play some more comedic stuff because clearly I'm very funny. But like, I never seem to sell myself
So what more kind of like slapstick stuff or dark comedy?
Oh fuck no slapstick. My whole life is a slapstick mess. Like we don't need to put that on screen. More. It's a very good question. Here's the thing: I hate sitcoms. I hate them. I cannot stand them, watching them. But I'd love to be in one.
Yeah, different angle, isn't it?
But they don't make a lot of so it's interesting because not a lot of comedies are being made right now, or sitcoms. Everybody's going for these like entire season story arc, dark and moody and kind of depressing stuff right now. So
I guess the role of, that Frances McDormand plays in Three Billboards is kind of the sort of humor that I quite like at the minute. So that would still fit that environment rather than doing a like outright sort of outlandish comedy.
Okay, makes sense. Have you seen Killing Eve? Okay, the girl that's bad in that, like, not that she's got that, like, her character changes all that much, but like her ability to just switch from accent to accent is so freaking impressive.
Well, Orphan Black?
No, Killing Eve.
Oh, yes, yeah. See, that's another one. Like, again, she's not playing like multiple roles, but she's playing multiple identities within that role.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like that's a role that I would love to explore, like something like that. Absolutely. I can't believe that went out of my head.
Yeah, well, and she just does a fantastic job of switching where you're kind of empathetic towards her, and then you then hate her. And then you're kind of like, okay, I kind of like her. Oh no, I hate her again. Like, so it's very talented ability to be able to switch that back and forth like that.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to think of one of the series that was on like BBC 3/BBC, which was I May Destroy You as well. I really thought the performance of the girl in there, and the kind of dark comedic elements that were intertwined into that story were great, actually.
I have not seen it. I'll look it up though.
I haven't watched it yet because I got very bitter when it came out.
Right.
And it's really, really stupid. And all it is because I just made a film about sexual consent, and someone turned around to me and said, oh, you've basically just done what she did in This May Destroy You. And I was like, but mine was done first. And it was just one of those stupid, it's actually nothing alike apparently. So I do need to sit down and actually watch it. And it's just stupid.
No, I can definitely understand. Like, if you just basically put all your guts into producing something, and then it's like,
it's
damn.
like,
and then this has got loads of traction, and you're like,
I know.
Okay, I just sit here and be like, my film's here. It's like,
I know. It was like 2.5 years of my life, or 3 years, and then just as we finally was ready to sort of release it, it was like that came out.
So what was that called, yours?
It's a short film called Keep Breathing. They're really not alike from what I've since heard, but it explores some of the same sort of nuances.
Yeah, so obviously Keep Breathing, one for you to watch, Milo, and also it's I May Destroy You, I think it is, or It May Destroy You.
That's it. Yeah,
I May Destroy You, I think it is. Yeah.
Yes, there's a band called This Will Destroy You. So,
but yeah, check it out, Milo. I think in terms of, I think it's really well written. To be fair, I think that's what it was for me. But other people might think differently. So
hers or mine?
Both.
Wait, have you seen mine?
Have you seen hers? Yeah, Kev, yeah.
I've seen your trailer. I've not watched the whole.
The trailer. Do you mean the 45-second trailer?
Yeah.
So you've not seen the.
I've not seen your whole.
Is it possible to watch the film?
Yeah. It's like pinned to my Twitter feed right now.
Oh, well.
And it's my Instagram bio link right now.
It's all going on.
Or you can search Keep Breathing short film on Vimeo.
Okay, I'll look it up. I'll watch it.
Yeah. I'll definitely watch the whole lot for sure.
And I will definitely watch all of your podcasts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Moving on, I really like actually your choices in terms of like the actor that you'd like to play. It was like, because you've also given it a lot of thought. But also, we on here we do a regular feature, which is all about cheese. So, Emmeline, what I'd like to ask you is, what is your favourite cheese or cheeses?
So I really like the cheese that I find on the bottom of my feet. No, I'm sorry, that was really close. I'm not very good at cheese. I love cheese, but I had to wean myself onto it. And my family don't eat a great deal of cheeses, or at least didn't used to. So I've had to find my own way, and it's been a very delayed experience.
So like a cheese noob.
Yeah. Yes. A tube.
A tube. Yeah, that works.
No, it doesn't, does it? Anyway, I like applewood.
Okay. Yep.
Brie on a cracker.
Specifically on a cracker.
Specifically, it's shit on its own. I don't get it.
Is it all about the texture with the cracker? Just like that? Just
No,
adds.
I think the crackers I have just add taste. I feel like brie doesn't really taste much by itself.
I don't know. I mean,
But with the cracker, it's all of a sudden just comes to life. And then I really like, a bit. There was a stage of my life where I would just eat Borsan out of the packet.
Yeah, I do like, yeah.
And now, because I did that so much, I don't really eat it anymore. But like, if it's there, I'll definitely have some for old time's sake. And I like that cheese that looks like a sausage.
Oh yeah, that's like another smoked cheese, isn't it? I think that's.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad you knew what I mean.
That looks like a sausage.
This kind of comes in a like when you get the salami in a wrap kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like this type of cheese comes like.
Yeah. Okay.
You've got my back. And do you know what I really, really, really like? A zig. No. With like just mature Cathedral City.
Oh yeah.
That is incredible toasted, cheese on toast, to the point where it goes a little bit crispy.
Is it because it's obviously quite rich in taste anyway? So when it's cooked, it kind of brings out even more richness.
The crispy, the crispiness of it just tastes sublime. I've never used that word before. Is that how you use it?
I think that was perfect.
Yeah, I think that'd work.
So, there you go. That earned my first sublime.
Wow.
Sublime cheese on toast. I reckon that'd be a good seller in a restaurant or cafe, something like that. Try our sublime cheese on toast.
A reasonably newbie to cheese, you listed quite a few ones there, so that's pretty impressive.
It's literally all the ones I know. No. I'm not a fan of goat's cheese. I don't get on with feta very well unless I've literally just eaten a meal with feta cheese on it. But
I do like feta. Yeah,
like feta in a salad. And
in a salad I can get on with it. But like,
just going to the shop now.
I recently made the mistake of eating it on its own and was just like,
I do like buffalo mozzarella is pretty cool as well. Actually, that is.
I know it. Oh, I've done lots of mozzarella. Oh, tell you what, actually, when I went keto, I would make, because keto, there's no carbs, right?
Only cheese.
Yeah, and so I'm vegetarian as well, which makes it especially hard. So I started making everything out of cheese, mozzarella mainly. I made pizza dough out of mozzarella. I would make bread rolls and like all of my bread. Oh, I'd make cinnamon buns. That was all out of mozzarella and almond flour.
Wow.
Really?
All of my bread was just mozzarella.
And it tasted okay?
Yeah. It's very much like bread.
Yeah, like how do you take the cheese and grate it up and then mix it with something and then
with the mozzarella you have to pull it all apart and really shred it. And then I think it's an almond flour and maybe an egg. Do you know, it's been so long I can't remember, but everything I ate was just made out of cheese.
Did you get sick of it then?
I got sick of the expense and making it. Yeah. But I didn't get sick of because it doesn't taste like cheese. I think it's a good
I'm intrigued as well, because obviously if you did that, did you make, because I know a few people that made like pizza bases out of cauliflower.
No,
That was, yeah.
I did have a
know a
lot
few
of
people who made-
cauliflower, but I didn't do that.
Yeah. Literally just like smooshed that right down and compacted it until it became like basically a base, so that they could have a pizza without the carbs. But,
Damn.
yeah, interesting. Yeah, baked cauliflower base. Yeah.
Wow, there we are.
Fascinating. I'm always trying to cut out the carbs, but I'm terrible at it because they do taste good.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
like basically my whole diet is carbs.
Yeah, mine as well. And it drives me nuts.
Yeah, certainly. Carby side. Absolutely.
Emmeline, let's close it out here. And as fascinating as this conversation has been, tell us any projects you're working on, where they can find you on social media, that kind of stuff.
So I just left when literally the week after I finished drama school, I shot my BBC New Creatives short film, which is also backed by Arts Council England as well as BBC. That it's like a sort of 5-minute artistic response, I suppose, to some of the issues within the disabled community regarding funding or lack thereof. But also, agency and there are lots of different themes through it, and it's an artistic piece. So we're just sort of gradually coming to the end of post-production on that. And we've also just taken part in the 48-hour film challenge last weekend.
So what was the name of the BBC Creators film?
So it's The Body with No Face. There's nothing out about it just yet.
Okay.
And yeah, so we've just finished our short film for the 48-hour film challenge as well, which we wrote and produced in just 2 days, which was called September, October, November. And yeah, I think I'm ready to start developing and working on my first feature.
Excellent. So for somebody who says that she's not a very good director, you are directing a lot.
I am not directing any of these.
Oh, you're not? Oh, okay.
No. I produce them.
Oh, okay.
So I work with lots of different directors, and I just finding money and organizing everything, essentially.
Yeah,
So good skill set to have though, yeah.
I started doing it as a means to act. I wasn't getting the roles that I wanted. I wasn't really booking anything. I wasn't really even getting in the door. I'm still not yet, but I'm hoping, gradually things are moving forward. But so I started writing and producing my own stuff with the roles that I did want to play and the themes that I did want to explore. So it sort of came from that, really. I'm on at Emmeline Hartley on Twitter and Instagram. I'm also on Facebook, but it's not quite the same.
And then what was the agent that you're signed to as well?
With Victoria Lepper Associates.
Thanks for coming on the show, Emmeline. It was really fantastic talking to you. And
Absolutely.
Of course, to our audience, thanks for following. And as always, feel free to check out myself or Kevin on social medias. We'll throw the links in the notes below, and stay tuned for our next episode.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
So what news do you have for us, Kevin? What's going on right now?
Yeah, so kind of in the Rip It Up universe, so to speak, we've heard from one of our previous guests, Juanita Rea, who's actually struggling with a visa application for the UK. So she has asked both you and I to do a testimonial, but we're also kind of asking a few of our viewers if they'd like to check out her Home Office page that's been set up for testimonials and basically just general kind of character profiling. And you can visit her there at www.juanita.uk/home. So yeah, just check that out. And we found, as you know, that she was a really great guest and had a lot of kind of, a lot to bring to the UK just as an individual. So it would be a shame if someone like that wasn't around in the UK and offering their education and their training, their expertise. So yeah, check out Juanita and
Right. And that's JUANITA. Juan. How does she spell her name again?
Yeah, like Juan. Yeah. So yeah, Juanita. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So check that out,
Cool.
people. Yes, she is fantastic, and hopefully things work out.
Excellent.